Hello, in this video we're going to use our primary trig ratios to work through a word problem. So let's dive in. A tree is splintered by lightning 2 meters up its trunk, so that the top part of the tree touches the ground. The angle the top of the tree forms with the ground is 70 degrees. You can see that right here. Before it was splintered, how tall was the tree to the nearest tenth of a meter? So we can see pretty quickly that this question we need to add the length from here to here plus the length from there to there, which in this case would be the hypotenuse. So I'm going to start by saying let h represent the height of the tree, and if I call this length x, I can state that h is equal to x plus 2. So that means I need to find x. So I know that I'm going to use my primary trig ratios here because I see I have a right angle triangle. I have an angle of 70 and I have one length. So therefore we're going to find this third length. So relative to my angle, I'm going to name my sides. So this side would be the opposite and x would be the hypotenuse. So if I'm given the opposite and the hypotenuse, I'm going to use my sine ratio. So therefore we're going to say that sine of 70 degrees, don't forget that degree symbol, is equal to the opposite, which is 2, over the hypotenuse, which is x. So we're going to multiply both sides by x. We get x sine of 70 degrees equals 2. And I remember that sine 70 degrees is simply a number in disguise, right? So algebraically here, what I can do, I don't have to show this step, but we'll show it just to make sure we understand it, is I'm going to divide both sides by 70 degrees, sine 70 degrees. What I really want to stress here is that we don't figure out what sine of 70 is as a decimal and then divide both sides by that decimal, because that's introducing error into the problem. I want to get to this point right here. And the reason why I want to get to this point here is because I want to be able to plug that directly into my calculator one step. That is going to give me the most accurate answer I can get. So now I'm at a point I need to substitute this into my calculator. But what I'm going to remind myself is that there are two units that can be used to measure an angle: radians and degrees. We're interested in degrees, but I have to make sure my calculator is in that mode. So you'll know that your calculator will work in either of these modes, and you need to check to make sure it's in one or the other. Now, there's a symbol on the side on the sign of the calculator, or the display of the calculator. But we can also check it really quickly by doing the following. I've memorized that sine of 30 degrees is 0.5, so I'm just going to take my calculator and type in sine of 30 degrees, and just ensure that I get 0.5. I now know my calculator is in degrees, and I can do this calculation properly. So 2 divided by the sine of 70, close my bracket, equals, and I see I get approximately 2.12 meters. Oh, there we go. So I see that x is approximately equal to 2.1, well, let's see, it says to the nearest tenth of degrees, so we'll just leave it as 2.1 meters. So now if we know that, we can say therefore h is equal to 2.1 plus 2 meters, so h is approximately equal to 4.1 meters. Therefore the height of the tree is 4.1 meters. I hope that video helped.